Here I am. My name's Amy, by the way, after the worst day of my life, with bruises and scrapes all over my body and a whole fingernail torn off. My clothes torn and all I want to do is sleep. Now you're probably wondering what happened. Well, let's go back 2 days and I'll tell you. It all started on a nice sunny morning when my husband Wesley said his mother, Edna, was coming to stay for a few days. As I tried not to scream at the top of my lungs, I said, "Why?" Wesley's mother is by far the most infuriating, bothersome, and obnoxious human being on earth. To top that all off, she has this weird obsession with nails. If there's any little uneven point of your fingernail, then first, she asks you to bite it off, and if you say no, then she practically jumps on top of you to bite it off herself. I know because it's happened to me before. Now, I just made it sound like she's straight up crazy, but she has some sort of disease and it's kind of out of control. So anyway, back to the story. Wesley answered, "Well, she's coming because she's my mom and she wants to see me." I said, Okay, you're going to be late for work, you better get going. Skip forward to the middle of the next day. Wesley took a day off work to wait for his mom to arrive. We heard a knock on the door and I told Wesley that he should get it because I wanted his face to be the first one that his mom sees. But really, I just needed to buy time to run upstairs and start doing the laundry to make it look like I was busy if they came upstairs. As I quickly ran upstairs and started loading dirty clothes into the washing machine, I heard Wesley's mother's voice scream, "Aw, my little cutie patootie, my baby cake, my Chick-fil-A, I missed my little baby." I tried my hardest to hold back the laughter. If my mother ever said anything like that to me, I'd tell her that she wasn't welcome in my house, that she'd have to sleep on my driveway. Suddenly, I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. I quickly got back to work, but Edna was already planning a family gathering where all of Wesley's 6 siblings and all 25 little nutballs for nieces and nephews, all under the age of 7 years old, would come and eat dinner at our house. Wesley and I were thinking about having kids, but watching all of my crazy nieces and nephews made it harder to want kids. They constantly get into things, never clean up, they scream, they're germy, and they're all just little snot balls. Not meaning that they're brats, I mean they can be, but they literally always have snot running down their noses. Now I just made it sound like I hate kids. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do, but I still love them. It's complicated. I just don't know why they always insist on having the family gatherings at our house. I mean, sure, we have the bigger house and the fancier silverware, blah, 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 but we don't even have kids, so why at our house? There she was, talking to me about a cake, roast beef, corn on the cob, and she hadn't even been there 5 minutes. I was getting so annoyed. Since I knew that I wouldn't be able to talk her out of it, I decided to start cleaning up the house and get my mind off Edna. Wesley and I installed this special closet in our house a couple years ago, probably about 5 months after we got married and moved into our house. Yep, it only took that long before Edna started planning family gatherings. Cake, ice cream, games for the kids, you name it, she had it. That meant 25 kids running around like maniacs, and by the 3rd gathering, I had had it. We added an extra closet with a door that locks automatically, and you can only open it from the outside if you have a key that I keep hidden in the bottom of my shirt drawer. So before every gathering, I shove everything that is meaningful or breakable in that closet, and bam, kid-proof. So I ran downstairs with the key, and I did the usual routine. But I remembered that I had forgotten my baby blanket, which I have had since I was a baby. And although I don't use it anymore, it still means a lot to me, and I always put it in the closet to make sure that no little kid got their snot on it. Maybe I left it in here the last time, I said, so I dug through the closet until I got to a box way in the back. I stepped inside the closet, forgetting, slam, the door shut behind me, and then a little click, meaning that the door had locked behind me too. I was locked in. I started to panic, not because I was locked in. Oh, yes, because I was locked in, but also because Wesley and Edna had just walked downstairs, talking about how Wesley needed to get some things for the gathering. And then I heard the front door close. They were gone. But then I heard footsteps walking around in the kitchen. Edna didn't leave with Wesley. I screamed for her to come and help me. A few seconds later, I heard her footsteps come to the door. "Amy, are you in there?" Edna asked. "Yes, I'm locked in here. I'll slide the key under the door," I said. "Okay," Edna said. I took the key out of my pocket and slid it under the door. A couple seconds later, I heard a little click. Yay, it was unlocked! Edna opened the door and started laughing. I guess it probably was pretty funny to see someone all jumbled up in the dark coat closet, but I was in no mood to have people laughing at me. What with the stupid gathering that Edna was planning, not to mention she made Wesley go to the store meaning that we would be paying for it all, and to top it all off, I got myself locked in that stupid coat closet, so no, I will not be laughed at. "Oh, shut up," I said. I had had enough of this woman. "Just help me up," I said. Okay, Edna said. She grabbed my hand and pulled. Ouch, I said. My hair's caught on something. Oh, dear me, Edna said. She stepped into the closet. No, I screamed. Too late. The familiar sounds of slammed, the door shutting, and click. We were locked in. In the silence of my horror, to add to all of that, Edna said, Oh dear, we've got ourselves into a fine pickle. I felt like my head was going to explode. I yelled, Why'd you let the door close behind you? No response. She just kept looking at my hands. Oh no, I said. No. Could you let me bite that fingernail, Edna said. No, I will not, I said. Then she did what I feared she was going to do. She jumped on top of me. 5 minutes later, there we sat in that closet, with me having a whole fingernail bitten off, and Edna sitting there as if she just showed up for tea, waiting for something. I was furious. My finger was bleeding all over. Then the closet started to shake. I could hear a large rumbling noise, meaning that the whole house was shaking. It was an earthquake. Boxes were falling from the shelf above. Pieces of the ceiling were falling on us. Oh no, Edna said. My fingernail got chipped. Edna started rolling on the floor like a dog chasing its tail, except she was chasing her nail. She looked like a psycho. More chunks of the ceiling were falling, giving us scratches and scrapes all over our bodies. Suddenly a box fell on top of me, spilling all its contents. There, in the pile of the cracked ceiling pieces and the pile of contents from the box, was my baby blanket. After all of this that's happened because of this baby blanket, now it shows up. Now, all of a sudden, a huge chunk of ceiling fell on my head and I was knocked out. I woke up in my bed. Oh, glory, oh, sweet, sweet glory. I'm out of that stupid closet, I said aloud. Wesley appeared and came and kissed me on the cheek. I sat up and hugged him. I asked, what happened? Well, after that nasty earthquake, I came home to a pretty okay house. There were some ceiling pieces that came out, but then I heard my mom's voice coming from that closet. She slid the key under the door, I unlocked it, and I found you unconscious on the floor. So I brought you up here, Wesley said. I finally felt safe. I hugged Wesley one more time. All of a sudden, Edna walked in and said, Well, I finally got my fingernails even. The end.